Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Gojetta, and hey, we're looking at a new screen. It's a new mod pack, it's a new series, and I know some of you are going to be asking yourselves, what are you doing, Gojetta? Because we have two other series currently going on the channel, being the Feed the Beast Plexiglass Mountain, and as well as that Factorio, I do not know how to spell, going on the channel at the same time. It's like, what, you haven't even finished either one of those two and you're going to start an extra one? Look, okay, I understand it's not the smartest thing in the world to do. Seed doesn't matter because, oops, I did not mean to do that. Seed doesn't matter because it's a Skyblock. But I'm really excited for this. I saw when this came out and I was like, wanted to play it like immediately, and I was like, no, you know what, don't do it because you're already doing two series. It's a lot of work, but I put some thought into it and I figured it's better content making stuff that you actually like have the excitement to play, and it ends up being better stuff. So we're playing all the Mod 7 to the Sky, if you can't already tell by the main screen that we were looking at just before, or just even the title of this video. But we're doing that. We're making a new world. It's a Let's Play world. Let's do it. It's a Skyblock. Yeah, I've been wanting to play something like this. I've been waiting kind of for like the 1.18 version of Skyblock maps to come out, since all the other mod packs have like started doing their thing. And I played a little bit of all the mods, what would have been 6 to the Sky a while ago, but I never really got all that far into it. And like something about these like questing based Skyblock maps that kind of force you to, you know, change the way you play and use different mods and stuff like that is more interesting to me. Originally, that's why I wanted to play Plexiglass Mountain, because I thought it was going to be more questing based, and it becomes a bit easier for me just to kind of be like, okay, these are the steps we need to do, instead of just kind of making stuff up on the fly, being like, okay, let's go work on, you know, better or duplication or something like that. Whereas these mod packs give you a little bit more, what's the word, direction, I guess. But we're here, we're in a Skyblock, and I think we're in a kind of a nice looking biome because our grass is looking very green. But yeah, let's have a look. So this is obviously quest based, as you can see here, since we have the quest book over there. The first thing I'm going to do actually while we're standing here is go to keybinds, and then we're going to look for quests, and I'm going to bind this to a letter that's easy to get to. Is G good? What about, let's go with G. Does F have something? Hold on. Let's have a look. What is F bound to? Swap items with offhand. We don't care about that. We can get rid of that. Open quest we want open. Control F is select search bar. We don't ever use that, so that can go. And that should be everything we need to get rid of, so that now when I press F, we open the quest book. That's going to make life a bit easier. Just as we get into this. And yes, nice. The tilde key, the one above your tab, we have FTB Ultimine. That is awesome as well, which means breaking trees and stuff is going to be nice and easy. But let's have a look at this. Welcome to All the Mod 7 now in the Sky. To get started with questing, check out the tabs on the left to jump in. If you're new to all the mods, make sure to check out the All the Modium chapter. If you're new to Skyblock packs, modded or modded Minecraft, rather, check out the main quest line to help you get started. No, mods are not gated by quests. Quests are optional. We're going to follow the quests though, because I feel like that's going to be a more fun time than just kind of making it up. That's kind of how I like to do this stuff, because it is more automation based and very much along the lines of like Factorio, where you just have to kind of figure things out. And just automate a bunch of stuff. Like if we look here, all the Modium ore is made by either getting it found in mountain biomes and cave walls. Oh, interesting. Lots of things. Wow, you can only mine that by character, I guess. But that's all fine. There's a lot of things here. We got, what, 3 different types of ores. All the Modium, Vibranium, and Unobtainium. Cool. So we're part of the Marvel and the Avatar universe. I like it. I like it. There seems to be alloys of each of these with each other, which is kind of interesting as well. Teleport pads, Piglin Homeworld. What is this? Task, visit the other. Interesting. Cool. Creative tab. This is pretty standard to all Skyblocks. It must just like give you... Whoa. You need to give 15 nether star blocks. Wow, no. That's 2 times compressed nether star blocks. So a ton of nether stars. But it gives you a 3x compressed one. Yeah. Creative stuff just gives you, you know, creative levels of certain things. Like if we look here, I'm sure there's some sort of creative power that we can use. Master of Patrick Star. Reliquary. This looks all very interesting. So this is obviously the creative tab is probably what we're going to work towards completing by the end game. Let's kind of, you know, shrink these down since we don't need all of them open at the moment. Tips and tricks. On this page, you'll find some useful items and info to help you on your journey. Compact machines, building ones, building gadgets. Nice. Well, compact machines. The sink can be used as reactor coolant. Interesting. Swift Wolf's Rending Gale. That means Project E is inside of this, which is kind of cool as well. Nice, we got the shrinking device. I've been missing that in Plexiglass Mountain. We get X-ray potions, it seems like. Iron sight. We don't know how to make it. That's cool. X-ray charms, magnets we have. Nice. That's going to be something interesting. Bounty boards. Kill 5, kill 10. Ah, okay. So we just must get rewards and stuff just for killing certain amounts of mobs. That's interesting enough. What is that? Guardian of Gaia. Guardian of Gaia. Is that Britannia? Yeah, that's Britannia. Nice. That's a cool one. You have to kill the trader villager and his things. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. But besides all that, getting started. Let's have a look at these things. Welcome to all the Mod 7 to the Sky. If you played the original or any Skyblock ever, most of what you have to do should be self-explanatory up until the ATM medals. If not, don't fear, these quests are here to guide you through the start. Some of the quests in this chapter have in-game video-style ponder tutorials. Nice. They will be given as rewards. Click the reward to watch a ponder video to teach you all about the item. For those of you that don't know what the ponder system is, I'm sure create is in this mod. It totally is. If we hold, if we deselect that and then hold W on it, this whole thing here where it shows you kind of like a video and an explanation of how mods work, this is the ponder system. So if you guys didn't know what that was, now you do. That's kind of cool though. So I imagine things that aren't part of create will have that. That's actually going to be really nice to see as we go on with modded Minecraft into the... Actually, I don't want to bin that into the future. Just explaining things a little bit easier. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I've played a ton of Skyblocks in the start. Or rather, from the start. So all of this stuff looks pretty easy to do. You got your barrels, you got your clay. You got cobblestone, which is nice, which will make life a bit easier. We got a farm. So I'm probably actually, let's play this more like tutorial based, I guess. Oh, and there's like even a thingy for getting started with automation and stuff. Cool. So all of this stuff, do I rush through it? I don't know. I know that we have an option here. I've had a quick look at like some of the other videos that people are putting out, and we do have this head start thing, which kind of cheats and gives you some extra items here to make the start a bit easier, but I don't want to do that. I want to play this normally. It's fun for me to do this sort of stuff. So, saplings, if you ever run out of saplings, you can get more. That's all well and cool, but we don't care about that. First things first, we need 8 logs, make 16 planks, and it gives us some experience and sticks. Really easy. Since we have an ulti mine, I'm going to press that tilde key that's above the tab and break this tree in one fell swoop. And I'm going to stand underneath and get a sapling. I thought all the saplings went into the void, and I was just about to be very annoyed. But we got our sapling, and we got a whole ton of dirt that I'm kind of annoyed at. Dirt, grass. I'm just going to hold tilde and do the same thing. And now we have a real nice, clean starting patch. Now, is twerk to grow? It totally is. So just there, you saw there, by tapping shift a bunch of times, we force this tree to grow extra quick. rather than using bone meal, which makes collecting a bunch of wood early on really, really easy. And I'm going to do this a few times just so that we don't have to do it as regularly. I'm just going to collect up a bunch of this stuff. Beautiful. Let's do it like one more time for good measure. Thank you. And then we're going to turn some of this into the 16 planks that we need. And there we go. I'm twerking 9 to 5. Finished. Press F. We can look at that. We get sticks and some experience. Yes, being a Skyblock, here you go. You can spam crouch to make your trees grow faster. I should have read that before instead of acting like I was a genius. The Crook, we can make cobblestone or oak barrels. Let's go with the Crook. Crooks will give you a much better chance of getting saplings and apples from leaves, but is also how to get silkworms. You need these to get string for further progression. There are custom ponded tutorials for most, if not all, the ex-Nihilo stuff. Claim the rewards in this chapter to open the tutorials. So we may as well make a Crook then, and then see what this is about. So, we need a crafting table. Let's just place it there for now, I guess. Do I need logs for much? I'm actually going to turn some logs into chests to start with, just because I know we're going to have a lot of items. So we may as well start sorting some of this stuff nice and early. And I'm also going to make sure I keep one sapling, just in case we do run out of them. Not really a high chance that we do at this point, but you never know. Cool. We need to grow up another tree. Now I got a Crook. Let's have a look at this tutorial. Let's see. I see, yeah. Breaking leaves with a Crook can drop silkworms. And then obviously you can go back, you can stop, and you can do a bunch of things with these tutorials. If I hold W on you, yeah, there we go. So next scene, using a silkworm on leaves will begin to infest them. Nice. The infestation obviously carries through the rest of the tree. And then breaking the infested leaves with it. Wow, that went really fast. I don't know if you guys even had a chance to read that. Yeah, that comes up and goes away really, really quickly. That doesn't really give you a chance to actually read what happens. But if you break infested leaves with a Crook, you get string. That's all you need to know. That should probably be slowed down. I don't know if I can slow down that ponder speed or if that's on the Modpack author. But that was really fast, just quietly. So what I'm going to do is we're going to grow up and... Ooh. I was going to silkworm this tree, but since we got a big one, I'm just going to break this down instead. Nice. I really didn't want like a massive tree to make string and stuff. Just because it's going to be painful to gather, since you don't have easy access to the leaves. So that's that. I'm going to place these down, and if you hold shift, you can actually see the progress due to, I guess it's the one probe up there in the top left corner. I'm just going to leave it there for the time being. I usually like it in the middle, but there you go. You can see now this is infested rather, and it's spreading to the rest of the tree. We can make this faster. I'm just going to chuck a silkworm on every corner and just kind of help this spread a bit faster, because we need this to be completely infested before we go on much further. Now, can we do some other stuff? The other thing I'm probably going to make is make some slabs, because the next item we're going to need is an oak barrel. Just cause it's a skyblock. But we'll read this anyway. Barrel is one of the most important ways to get materials in this pack, second only to the sieve. These can make clay using water, soul sand using witch water, and even create dirt from saplings. No, fill these with water when it rains. Oh, sorry, these will fill with water when it rains. Which is all well and good. So we need slabs. We may as well make all of them. So let's just go there and balance the grid. Now we can make 6 of them. Let's just use up the slabs. Doesn't really hurt. Having more of these, I mean, it's neither good nor bad. But by now this tree is fully infested, so we can hit the tilde key and mine it. There you go. We got 3 full stacks of string and some extra silkworms from that. Wow, we have a stack of silkworm. That's kind of insane. That's a lot of silkworm. Now these can also be used as food, even though we did get given steak and we have apples from trees. If you press U on these, you can actually smelt these down and they give you a little bit of food. Or you can campfire them. That might be something we want to look into, but I don't have any cobblestone. So let's look into how we get cobblestone in this pack, which is this one. Just like other skyblocks, you can get pebbles from right-clicking grass, but here it works a little differently. You have 50% chance for cobblestone pebbles and a 50% chance to get any of the other pebble variants. Oh, okay, so you can literally just hold right-click on the ground. Apparently you throw them if they end up in your inventory, so let's not have them there. Or rather, if you have them in your hand. And we're going to need a bunch of these. I'm just going to give it some space in my inventory so that we're not just picking these up and throwing them as we're getting them. Because we're going to need a fair amount of this stuff. I think you can spam click faster than just holding right click. But this is kind of annoying and loud. And also probably not good for your mouse in the long run. I'm just going to hold right click instead. But we have some stuff now. Now I have a question. I know in some other packs you can press K. Yes, you totally can. You can press K over these stacks and it'll actually auto-craft like these items into their variants if they can be crafted into a 2x2 or a 3x3 with your crafting table to turn into blocks, right? Like this cobblestone, if I go like this, will turn into a compressed cobblestone block. But I can also do the same thing by hovering over it and pressing K, and that gives me compressed cobblestone. And apparently that gives me a quest, but we don't want that. It's really handy to know, especially when you're dealing with a lot of these like pebble things. I think it's also doable inside of inventories, but they might not be. Shift K? No, it's not. But either way, we've got our cobblestone. And that gives us some extra. And then obviously making a compressed one. To speed up getting resources, you can compress your cobblestone, gravel, etc. and hammer the compressed version to save time. With the nature of our automated sieving mod, we felt it was best not to allow these to be sieved, but manual hammering is still possible. Alright, cool. We got compressed stuff. I forgot to hand in this thing for the barrels since we made those. We're kind of rushing through this stuff, I'm sorry guys. By throwing leaves inside of a thing, inside of a barrel, over time it turns into dirt. Nothing too crazy here. Barrels above certain blocks will convert fluids into other different types of fluids. I don't know what that makes, but I know that for sure is witch water. I don't know what water over sand makes. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. So that's something new. We've got some slabs for that as well. So I guess our next step is going to be working into sieving, I guess, and making a furnace, and then eventually cool things. Ooh. Yeah, okay. So next thing, hammer. It's really dark, isn't it? Options, video settings, brightness, there we go. Makes it a bit easier for me and for you guys to see, since I know YouTube's compression can be kind of brutal when it comes to Minecraft, and especially at nighttime. So let's do that to help ourselves out a little bit. Alright, sorry, I may add a slight cut there. I guess what you Americans would call a garbage bin, a garbage truck rather, just went past and picked up our recycling. So that was super loud, so I had to stop there for a second. But what was I saying? We were doing things. I forgot what I was saying. I'm not sure, but regardless, I think now we need to do a hammer. That's not how you make it. It's like this. That's how you make a hammer. I totally lost my train of thought. I had to wait there for a second because it was just super loud, and now I don't know what I was doing. But we made a hammer. We got the quest done that we wanted to make. So to get resources, you need to bust up our cobblestone into something we can sieve. This is where the hammer comes in. Rather. Place down the block you want to hammer and, well, hammer it. Remember, you can hammer compressed items. Cool, we can click the tutorial here. Crush blocks. Turns cobblestone into gravel. Gravel turns into sand. We can skip that, and then sand turns into dust. If that makes any sense to you guys. But we can see this in action pretty quickly. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a bunch of it, because we're going to need a bunch of gravel here to get ourselves started. And if I hammer it, or mine it, I guess, with the hammer, it turns into gravel. You do the same thing with ultimine. Cool. Easily made ourselves that extra gravel. We can also turn that into sand and then that sand into other stuff. But I think we're going to keep it at gravel for the moment, since this is probably what the mod wants us to do. So here we go. Most of the starting journey will be most of the starting journey will be getting materials via sieving. We'll learn more about that in the next quest. Don't be afraid to make a ton of gravel. Sieving gravel is how you progress. So next thing we need to make is going to be an oak sieve and string mesh. And this is talking about sieving, obviously. So sieving is your best common method of gathering resources in this mod pack, and most materials can be acquired this way. Different meshes yield different resources. Same for sieving, different materials. Meshes can also be enchanted with fortune for a higher yield. You can also sieve blocks 9 at a time by making 9 oak sieves and placing them in a 3x3, right-clicking the middle sieve with the item you want to sieve. This will obviously use 9 instead of 1. Each of them do need meshes. So what is this talking about? Well, we need to make sieves. And now if I remember the crafting recipe for this, it should literally just be that and then some slabs in the middle. Nice. That's 2. Let's go ahead and make the 9 that we need to start with. So that's 6. That's the extra ones. Go like that. Bang. And that only makes us 8 because I don't have enough planks. But we have some extra oak logs here. Bang. We need 1 more. This will make 9. This thing kind of works like a multi-block. So I'm going to place 1 down and kind of show how this works. But we also need meshes. Meshes, usually just made with string like that. Beautiful. We're going to need 9 of these. So let's go 1. These, or they do stack. Normally they don't stack. Different mod packs have them different ways. These ones luckily stack. The other thing we're going to do, since we have so much string, is I'm going to make 3 wool. And with that, we can make wool slabs apparently. With that 3 wool, I'm just going to make a bed. 1, so that I can spawn if I die. And secondly, so that we can skip the night, so that we can actually see what we are accomplishing. Alright, cool. So we have a sieve, we have a mesh. Right click on the sieve, mesh goes inside of it. Right click it with the gravel, gravel goes inside of it. And you can actually hold right click here and you'll process this gravel into certain things. We can also press U on the gravel, and then if we go over to the sieving tab, if I can find it, it probably looks different to normal. Ah, this one, sieve. So you can see here, gravel into a string mesh gives you a 25% chance for flint. And that's pretty much all you can get with it at this level. So I think we need to upgrade to a flint mesh ASAP. So we're going to need a bunch of flint anyway, because to make flint meshes. So easiest way to do this is I'm going to place down my other 9 sieves, place mesh into all of them. And then I'll right click in the middle one, just like the quest said. Bonk. That gives us a bunch of flint. Those 12 can then be placed in here with these bad boys. The recipe is still the same. I still remember that, to make flint mesh. And then we're actually going to replace these as we kind of go with it, just because it'll actually end up yielding better results for us. Now, we have a few things that we need to do. Oh yeah, this is obviously the ponder for it. If I am rushing through this, I am sorry, but like, I feel like I'm explaining it well enough. Cool, we got flint. With the flint mint, you'll actually start getting some actual resources. If you're wondering what each mesh drops when sieving, you can always hit U in JEI on the mesh to check out the list. So yeah, you can also just do that on the sieve. So you can use soul sand in here to get nether quartz and nether wart. If you do it with dust, you get gunpowder, bone meal, and skystone. You can apparently sieve leaves to get a chance for saplings. That's kind of interesting. Sand gives you different chance for different resources, but gravel, if I can find the tab for it. If you look at gravel, we get a bunch more resources. So this is probably what we're going to be focusing on to start with. If you want seeds, sieving dirt is a really good way of getting some of them. Like, we will need to do this in the future, probably for Mycelium spores when we want to get, well, obviously mycelium to make witch water. Fern, we can make grass seeds with it, and we can also get like cactus seeds and things like that. There you go, cactus seeds, beetroot, jungle seeds, melon seeds, bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to worry about that just yet, but there you go, we can get a bunch of stuff with this. And you can also, if you are more curious about it yourself, you can do that yourself. That's that. My question now is, can I turn you into gravel? No, you turn into crushed diorite. What do you do then? Crushed diorite can turn into lava. Cool. So these blocks are then kind of useless to me. What about basalt? Let's just find out what these do. Okay, so basalt doesn't turn into anything. Blackstone turns into blackstone. Andesite. Apparently I haven't gotten any granite yet. Press K. There we go. Now I have a granite. Let's turn that and that. Okay, all you do is you get turned into lava then apparently. That doesn't help me. Well, at least not right now. So I guess we're just going to sit here, whoops, and just hold right click until we get a bunch of cobblestone, I think. Because obviously then we're going to need more flint, and then we're going to need more flint anyway once we get all of our meshes turned into flint meshes, because then we need to get iron and things like that. Is there something we can do in the meantime while I'm waiting on making all this stuff? Probably, actually. What I'm going to do is, how many saplings we got? We got plenty of saplings. Can I make an oak crucible? Is there a quest for it, though? There is, but I need to go up this way with it instead. So let's turn some gravel into sand. And then sand to dust, just to get this quest moving along. So that turns into that. Sand turns, oops, rather, gravel turns into sand, and then sand turns into dust. This dust then can go into a barrel with water to make clay. But seeing as we only have one water source block at the moment, I don't really want to use it to make clay. So we need to get another block of water for that to be really viable for us. So this will then teach us, yeah, clay. Fill a barrel with water to with water and right click it with dust to get clay. Coolio. Okay, there isn't a quest for the crucible. I think this one might tell us about it, but I know from memory we can make an oak crucible. I don't know how we make it. Crucible. This thing. Now we just need sticks. And then this, in turn, we can place plant matter into it. What the? That's a slab, that's why. Plant matter can then go into it to make water. And I think we only need like a... I don't remember if you need to use leaves, but I'm pretty sure you can use saplings. There we go, now that's full. And if we hold shift over that, you can see it is generating very slowly some water. So let's let that do its thing in the background while I stand here and hold right click on the ground for probably a long time, to be honest with you, because we need to get a bunch of this stuff, and like a bunch of it, because we need 6 flint per one of these things, and we only get a small chance for flint from each piece of gravel. So we're going to be here for a while. I'm going to probably go until I get like a stack of cobblestone at least, and then we'll come back once we have that. Alright, we got a bunch of stuff here. So now we can do the same thing, just hover over it, press K over these stacks. That'll all turn into blocks, which will compress it up and in turn take up less space in my inventory and stuff. So let's get all of the junk we don't need. Let's empty out some stuff from my inventory, like that sand and dust that I don't need. Cobblestone we've got. I'm going to do the same thing with the cobblestone. I think you do need to be hovering over this though, the crafting table, to press K on it. And we're going to turn that into compressed cobblestone. And then the compressed cobblestone I'm going to place down. And we should be able to hammer this down into, yeah, compressed gravel. Nice. And then we can do this just to make life way faster. So you're not placing down a billion different blocks. And then you turn it back into gravel. And stand over this thing. Cool. And what I'm going to do with this, probably, to be honest with you, is every 6 flint, I'm going to upgrade a mesh so that we are continually, like you can see here now, we've got like copper pieces, iron pieces and things. If I'm smart about it, I'm not going to be wasting gravel and collecting stuff that I don't need. Cool, that's 9. So let's empty hand grab that. And we'll also be collecting other things with each other mesh that gets upgraded. So I'm just going to do like 9 at a time, very patiently, just get ourselves some flint and then upgrade these as we go. Probably not the most efficient way to do this, or the fastest way. Probably like sieving the whole thing and then turning all of that flint into it would be smarter. But I want to kind of maximize the amount of items we're going to get from this. So there, really slow and really annoying, I know, I'm sorry. But in the end, it'll work out slightly better for us, even though we have kind of unlimited resources at this point. Cool, that's 13, which means I can make, oops, which means I can turn 2 of these. 2. Bang, whoop, bang, bang. And I've only got 1 piece of gravel left. That's unfortunate. I have enough there to make raw iron though. So I've got my first piece of iron and my first piece of gold, which is kind of interesting. This stuff can probably just live in this top chest for the time being. But that's really not a lot of stuff now, is it? I guess the next thing would be make a furnace, and then once I have a furnace, I can make a piece of iron. And then once I have iron, I can make a bucket. Do we have access to buckets? Do we have like the clay buckets? Clay, no we do not. So we need to just use regular buckets, which means I need a bunch of iron. Because right now we have probably, or nearly a bucket's worth of water sitting in that thing, but it's kind of useless to us until we have, you know, a way of moving it around. So I guess I'm going to stand here and hold right click for another while more. Kind of annoying, but so be it. It's just going to be a lot of this for the start. So I'm going to take another break, and then we'll come back once I've got some more stuff to show. Alright, so we did a bunch of stuff. Kind of there, I made an extra chest here just so that I can, you know, get a bit more of a handle on my storage a bit earlier on rather than, you know, struggling with it. So we have our first piece of iron, and I think I have enough now to turn into 3 other pieces. Cool. So now what I should be able to do is I need a furnace. So there's my 8 bits of cobblestone. That cobblestone can go in there. We have coal. Can I turn... there's no such thing as tiny coal in this. That's annoying. So if that's going to be the case, I'm just going to use 2 logs. I think each of these have like a burn usage of like 1.5 items. So 2 logs should be pretty much perfect to make these 3 bits of iron into iron ingot. Yeah, I think that math is like perfect. Our water should be done here. There's our single bucket's worth. Cool, so just need to wait for this thing to cook up. You know what? A time in a bottle would be a great thing. What are you? Enchanted... No, okay, we don't have time in a bottle. There's probably something else we can use, but that's fine. And there's our first bucket. So what I can do is I can grab that out, and since we already have a source block there, I can turn this entire thing into source blocks. Nice, and then with this, can go into there, and I'm going to do, I think it's 4 of them. Because we have dust already here, we have 5. I'm going to turn all of this dust into clay, which you can do here just by pressing right click on all of them. Bonk, 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 bonk. Sweet, so that turns into clay. Then obviously clay can turn back into clay balls, which is super nice and easy. We also got a quest unlocked. Cool. Apparently making a furnace also gave us another quest unlock. So we got iron there. Sweet. So now I guess the only other thing we need to do is make a fired crucible, which comes from an unfired crucible, which is made with porcelain clay. So we need clay and 7 bits of bone meal. How is it for us to get bone meal. So we need bone blocks. Apparently, what's the word? Alchemistry or whatever that mod is in here. Crushing bones, milling bones. We have productive bees. That's kind of cool. We can sieve it from dust at a 20% chance. Is not really all that good. It's not good at all. Now this is interesting. Why does this not? This doesn't show you the other way that you can get bone meal that you would if it was vanilla. We just need planks, don't we? I'm into a composter, and then the composter just needs like... then this should just turn into bone meal, doesn't it? Okay, we need a ton of saplings there for this to work, so we can actually do this really, really easily if I just need to make like a bunch of crooks. Because we're going to need a ton of saplings for this to work. I'm pretty sure once you fill this thing, you can actually make bone meal. I don't actually know which way would be faster, whether actually just making a bunch of dust and then sieving it at 20% chance, or we just make a bunch of saplings. Ow. The other way is, do we have like wooden shears? Are they a thing? No, they're not. I'd need to make more iron if I wanted to do it that way. Let's see how effective this is then. So what if I fill you all the way up? There you go, bang, and that turns into one piece of bone meal. I guess this is actually not a bad way. I'm going to grind this out a little bit, I think, then. Because we're going to need the logs anyway. And it'll actually be faster for us to do it. Maybe not the most efficient way possible, but it'll be better for us in the long run, since we're going to need bone meal and logs, like wood anyway. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to grind out a bunch of logs and make bone meal that way. Now, given, I think the dust would be a faster way, but I just don't want to sit here and hold right click on the ground this whole playtime, because I've been playing for about 45 minutes on my end. I don't know how long that is for you guys in this video, but I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. So I'm just going to rush through this and just grind this out a little bit. And then we'll come back once I have my 7 pieces of bone meal. How does that sound? I think that sounds pretty good. We'll do that. All right, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that's going to be number 7 of bone meal. I discovered as well that this is actually, it's random chance as to how long it takes. Like how many items it takes to actually like fill it up. I think it works the same way as like bone mealing does with like plants and things. It just like takes a certain like random tick or like random number to like all of a sudden make it grow. Because some of those like took like 6 pieces or 6 saplings rather for it to work, and then other times it took like 30. I don't know. It didn't take me very long, but it did take a lot of saplings. But that's done. So now I can make clay balls. The clay balls can turn into porcelain clay. Porcelain clay turns into an unfired crucible. Unfired crucible goes into a furnace. And then this thing comes into my inventory, and we can make lava with this. So, let's actually read this thing properly, hey? I mean, it's a skyblock. No matter how many different power generation methods we try to show you in these quests, you ultimately end up with 20 of these in your base. These generate lava when a heat source is placed underneath it. You can use a torch to start with, even though it's slow. Fill with some sort of cobblestone. So it doesn't really matter what type of stone it takes. Here you go. Crucible heat sources are important as they make your lava production faster. This mod pack has a few changes to the norm, so I thought I would add a list into the guidebook for you to show the options. Blaze mesh is 8, uranium block, blah, blah, blah. I think if we actually press U on this for our uses, we should be able to look at, yeah, there we go, crucible heat sources. So torch is 1x, furnace is 3x, that's not bad, but I think the furnace has to be on. Redstone torch is 1x. Campfire is 4x. Dark matter block is 100x. That's not bad at all. Soulfire is the same as regular one. Superheating element from mechanism, shroom light, soul campfire, glowstone. Uranium block is 20x, but we don't have any uranium. So our best option here is probably going to be the campfire, because that's just a piece of coal and some logs and some sticks. And we have all of that. So let's make a campfire then. Let's stick that, logs, coal, and this thing can just kind of live there. And then if I shift right click that on top of it, we can't see what's happening, but we can do that. Bonfire lit. That's actually kind of funny. It's for those of you that don't know, that's probably a Dark Souls reference. But we can fill this thing here with stone, and that is very slowly turning into lava. Now, for the next quest, which is going to be a cobble generator, right? This requires us to have 2 buckets, and we had used up all of our iron that we had, right, to make the 1 bucket that we have in our possession. So I might just keep grinding out some, what's the word? Some cobble and stuff to turn into iron. And when we come back, hopefully our lava's done, and then we can make a cobble generator and automate that kind of. I say like automate in air quotes. And then that might be the end of the episode. So let's do that, because this is going to take a hot minute. Because this is what, doing 4 millibuckets every like second roughly. And we need 1,000. So that's going to take a while. So I'm going to sit here, hold right click, do the things that we've been doing this entire playthrough so far. And we'll be back in a moment. Okay, beautiful. I got my extra 3 bits of iron, so let's throw that into there. I'm going to need some more planks to cook these bad boys up. While that cooks, we should sleep. That took a considerable amount of time of just holding right click on the ground. So our lava's done. So by the time that these hopefully are done, I just need a bucket of that. I'm also going to need a piece of sand, aren't I, to turn into glass. So once these finish cooking, which is now, I'm going to cook up a piece of glass. You need to turn into a bucket. That bucket goes into there. Nice. Well, that's waiting. We need somewhere to store the cobblestone we're going to generate. So I'm going to make a drawer. We have access to functional storage. Sweet. Which just means I need planks, which is super easy. Bang, bang, or like that. Cool. That's going to be all that done. There's our piece of glass. So now I'm pretty sure it's just glass, lava, bucket. Oops, I need logs. Lava, glass, water, logs. That makes a cobble gen tier 1. And now these works really easily. We're just going to place them down. Doesn't really matter where. There. And then this one goes on top of it. Cool. And then you can see cobblestone is ending up in there pretty rapidly. You're getting about, what, 4 every single time it's updating, which is kind of cool. And now this cobble gen, actually, we got some cool stuff here. If you don't want to be right-clicking the floor for eternity, for the rest of eternity, rather, make one of these. You need to make lava in your crucible and need enough iron for 2 buckets. This is, yeah, we've already done all of that. Now, these have different tiers, right? The higher the tier, the more it's going to generate. So tier 2 only needs us to make 6 bits of cobblestone, which I now have a stack in like that amount of time. So what I'm going to do really quick, this so that I don't actually lose this cobble gen since I just made it. I'm actually going to make a little bit of a barrier here. So I can break this bad boy. I don't have a pickaxe, so we're just going to break him by hand. Hopefully this doesn't destroy it, otherwise I'm going to be sad. Cool. Now we have that. And then we take this thing and then go like that. No, what else do you need? Oh, you need another bucket of lava and another bucket of water. Okay, well, we got our buckets back, which just means I need to then chuck some more in there. Oops. and then wait for that to turn into lava, and then we can make this a tier 2. So, well then, I might do that between episodes. I think that's a good spot to leave it for today. What I might do is, while I wait for that, and this thing just to keep making me more cobblestone, is I might just keep grinding out some more just items and stuff, right? Because I think the next quest that we need to do, besides that and the tier 3 cobble gen, is iron meshes and an iron furnace, which is kind of cool. Oh, you can configure with it. That's kind of awesome. And also we get like coal generators and things like that. This requires iron. We need lots of resources. So obviously getting resources as a whole is going to be really important for us. So I'm going to do that between episodes. I'm just going to keep doing this while this turns into lava. And the next one we'll come back and kind of see where we're at with our resources here and materials, and kind of keep going along with the pack. So if anyone is still watching, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more of this stuff. And we'll see you all on the next one. Peace.